Today, I'll present our paper titled Push Past Screen, Learning to Look Behind Plant Foliage by Moving It. The plant self-occlusion problem is prevalent in many agricultural activities. Plants occlude space behind them. Leaves and branches are pushed aside for tasks like inspecting, finding, and plucking fruits. In this work, we propose a framework that learns to reveal space beneath external foliage. We experimented with synthetic vines and a real Dracaena plant. Here we show actions outputted by our policy to reveal hidden space behind Dracaena leaves. Manipulating plants to look behind them is challenging. There are sensing difficulties caused by extreme clutter, thin structures of the stems and branches, and partial observability of the plant state. Moreover, there are challenges associated with building a full articulable model for the plant. Therefore, we adopt data-driven learning methods. However, applying existing learning methods for deformable objects is not straightforward. Lack of high-fidelity simulators precludes the use of model-free RL methods that require large amounts of simulation data. Unknown dynamics of the plant leaves and branches makes it hard to use model-based RL methods that predict the precise next state of the plant. In our approach, we collect data directly in the real world through self-supervision. The robot interacts with the plant randomly, and we collect outcomes of these actions. We use the data to learn a model that predicts the outcome of input actions measured by where space is revealed. We argue that just predicting the outcomes is easier than predicting the full next observation, as necessary for model-based RL. Now we introduce our setup for data collection and physical experiments. Left is the setup for vines, and right is the setup for Dracaena. We use a grabber as the end effector to push the plants. Here are the camera views. We see that leaves occlude the surface beneath them. The vines involve a 2D exploration problem and present challenges like extensive clutter. The real Dracaena plant exhibits a large variation in scene depth leading to a 3D problem. Our action space consists of non-prehensile planar pushing actions within the robot's reachable space. We sample a 3D location and push in a plane parallel to the board for the vines and to the ground for the Dracaena plant. The push length and direction are represented by d and theta respectively. As vines have limited depth variation, we use a fixed z for the vines, but actions are sampled at varying z for the Dracaena plant. To execute each action, we convey the grabber through several waypoints. Approach the plant, insert grabber into plant, push, and retract grabber. We now introduce our proposed method Push Past Screen PPG. PPG adopts a greedy approach to maximize total space revealed. At each time step, the state of the plant is represented by RGB and height images. We also keep track of space that has already been revealed, showing white. Then we use the cross-entropy method to pick out the best action to execute. The sampled actions are evaluated using the Space Revealed Prediction Network, SRPNet. SRPNet takes in RGB and height images crop around the action start location, along with the push action to predict where space is revealed. Our network does not just predict how much space is revealed, but also where. In this way, we can rank the sampled actions by how much new space they can reveal. We subtract the area that has already been revealed from SRPNet's output. Upon executing the best action found by CEM, we observe the space that is actually revealed, and update C sub t for the next time step. For SRPNet, we crop out image patches around the action start location and pass them through an encoder to generate 6x6 feature maps. As the model sees crops around the site of interaction, we only need to represent the push direction using a one-hot vector, the z-coordinate of the push action using another one-hot vector, and the push distance via the location of the action endpoint. The action representation is mapped to a 6x6 feature map and concatenated with a feature from the encoder before passing to the decoder. The decoder outputs an image that is the same dimension as the input, where each pixel represents the probability of revealing space by the input action. We use this prediction along with previously revealed space to compute the new space revealed. For data collection, we sample a location in the robot's reachable space. Then we sample a push direction from the possible angles. After executing the random action, we can compute the ground truth area revealed to train the network. We collected around 3,500 interactions for vines and 2,100 interactions for Dracaena. For our first set of experiments, we performed offline valuations of SRPNet on the test split of our collected dataset. We measured the average precision for pixels labeled as revealed space. We tested the ablated versions of SRPNet. Our full SRPNet outperforms all the baselines. Please see more details about this experiment in our paper. The next experiment involves the task of revealing space behind plants. The goal is to maximize the cumulative space revealed over a 10-step episode. The metric is space revealed in units of number of pixels. The first baseline is a handcrafted baseline that we call tiling. We divide the action space into concentric circles centered at the plant. Push start locations as indicated by the red dots are on these concentric circles. The push direction is tangent to the circle. The actions are illustrated as the cyan arrows. To select which action to execute, we choose a location that is the farthest away from the actions already executed. Depending on the first action, the 10 actions can be different. In the right figure, we show the 10 push actions in an example trajectory. For the second baseline, we replace SRPNet in PPG with another model for predicting where space is revealed. This is a handcrafted dynamics model. After executing the action, shown as red arrow, the induced free space is shown in blue. Similarly, for the third baseline, we replace the full model with an ablated version of SRPNet that does not take an RGBD input. Here's our result. The time steps are on the x-axis. The amount of space revealed is on the y-axis. We report the mean over 10 trials and also show the 95% confidence interval. We can see that PPG with full SRPNet outperforms all the baselines, and it has a 34% improvement over the highest baseline. This shows that learning is needed to model complex leaf behaviors that are hard to handcraft. Secondly, benefits don't just come from keeping track of revealed spaces. SRPNet can use visual information to reason about action outcomes. We also conduct the same experiment on vines. For vines, we consider 3 settings: a base setting, the setting as used for collecting training data, and 2 novel settings to test generalization: sparse vines and separated vines. In all settings, PPG with full SRPNet outperforms the baseline by 21%, 4%, and 18% respectively. Our final experiment tackles the task of targeted exploration. The task here is to reveal space at a user-defined region, such as the shaded region in the image on the right, and the metric is same as before. Again, as SRPNet reliably models the effect of actions, PPG with SRPNet outperforms PPG with other dynamics models. To summarize, we introduced push-pass-green and SRPNet to form a policy to reveal space behind external foliage. We use self-supervised learning to model outcomes of pushing actions, specifically which area is revealed after the action. This allows us to sidestep the difficulty associated with modeling the precise next state of plants after actions. Experiments on different settings demonstrate the benefits of our learned SRPNet and the push-pass-green framework for tackling the plant self-occlusion problem. Thank you.